Here's the truth no one wants to talk about. Most women don't burn out from their workload. They burn out from their identity at work. If you feel like walking away from your whole career, I want to pause because maybe it's not the job that's suffocating you. It might be the role you've unconsciously taken on. I'm Sophia, and I help driven women climb in corporate without the cost of burnout. I want to talk to you about you know what? I don't want to talk to you about tasks or to-do lists. Actually, I want to talk to you about what's going on behind the scenes and why your capacity, what you're taking on, and how much you have the space, the mental energy to do, why is that collapsing? And I want to clue you in that it probably has very little to do with your actual work. You're not out of capacity. You're carrying too many roles. Most high achieving women, you're doing two jobs, and you know what I'm talking about. In fact, I want you to respond in the comments because I know you can relate to this. One is your job description. Yes, you're doing that, but you're also doing the invisible one that you've been conditioned to perform. What am I talking about? How about the team memory keeper? Oh, remember we did this 3 months ago. Let me dig that up in this file. Oh, you can't find it on the SharePoint? Go to this other location. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. Or how about I'll just get it done. Don't worry about it. Sometimes you're that person, right? Should I keep going? Because actually, I did a whole video about this. It's called five worst roles to have in corporate. I want you to check that out because I'm going to keep going here, and I know you want to unpack this some more. The other ones were the cultural glue. Oh man, Sophia keeps the team together. The fixer, the explainer. How about the translator for unclear leaders? What did Jamie say? I think what Jamie meant was, come on, you know what I'm talking about. None of these roles are paid, but all of these cost capacity. You're not burned out because you're bad at your job. You're burned out because you're doing everyone else's job on top of your own. Let me tell you what's really going on. We women, we take on unpaid emotional labor. There are few core drivers. One is girls are just rewarded for being helpful, for being harmonious, for being selfless. And what does that turn into as an adult woman? It means the buffer, the smoother, right? The one who anticipates everyone needs. High performers, we're conditioned to be perfectionists, right? If I don't do it, I'll be blamed. Or if I don't do it, it won't get done right. If I don't do it, this is going to fall back on me and reflect on me. And the last piece is fear of being too much or not enough. And this is what we women carry. We carry the unwritten rules. Don't be difficult. Don't be demanding and don't inconvenience anyone. Don't be the reason why something goes wrong. Yeah, these items, they silently eat up your capacity, especially when you're playing double dutch, right? You're doing your role and you're carrying the weight of these other things. Look, you don't need a career pivot. What you do need is you need a role reset, right? And that's what people think. They think that changing companies is the solution, but we need to change how we're unconsciously being responsible for other things. I want to encourage you to think about it this way. Like, what responsibilities have I inherited and not chosen? In fact, if you have a pen handy, I want you to write it down because when you write these things down, not only are you getting it out of your mind, but you can physically see it. It's one thing, yeah, I know, but I want you to see it written down. So write down what responsibilities have I inherited but not chosen? Yeah, you know how that one person quit, they didn't hire a backfill, and now you're just doing that role. It was supposed to be temporary, but management couldn't find the space in the budget to rehire. So now you've inherited that role. I want you to write down what parts of my job do I do because I'm good at them, but not because they're strategic. I'm going to give you two more. Come on. Where am I over functioning to protect someone else's under functioning? And then where did I learn that being the strong one was the safest option? Where did you learn that? I want you to write it down again because you can see it. And once you can see it, we can start to pivot and make changes in your current role. Because if we don't fix this in your current role, getting a new job won't solve it. I can remember my friend saying to me after I was like 2 years in a new role at a new company, I was complaining again. They're like, oh, here she goes. She complains again. And I'm like, guys, I think the solution is I need to get a new job. And you know what they said to me? You just got that job. Maybe you're the problem that hurt. So I'm here to just give you an ouch moment to consider that because this is why your capacity keeps crashing. You're carrying the emotional context of the room. It's like we women, we're doing all the emotional labor like unpaid therapists. You're doing 120% and being seen at 100%. That's exhausting. And that recognition, the recognition for going above and beyond, it rarely catches up. You normalize micro self sacrifices. I was the queen of this, okay? I would have a drawer of granola bars that I would chomp along with, and I would have a few pieces of Halloween candy there too, just to give me a jolt of energy because I had to just keep cranking on that deliverable. That's a self-sacrifice. I shouldn't have to beg to have a lunch hour, right? Or fear being seen as a person who gets up from her desk and leaves. Okay, maybe that's not your self-sacrifice, mini self-sacrifice. Put some in the comments because there's so many self-sacrifices that we unknowingly make, like staying late, cleaning up other people's messes. Oh, he gave me that PowerPoint again that has two typos. It's not centered. Why are you fixing that for them? Prepping leaders, right? Yeah, I know you're about to go into a meeting with senior leadership. I have like these three high opportunities that really need to be top of mind. I could keep going. All of these are individually small, but they are collectively draining. And somehow you have tied your identity to your usefulness. I need you to stop thinking that being indispensable is safe. It isn't until it becomes suffocating. So this is about identity. Most women think about capacity like sleep, time, less meetings, but capacity, it collapses when your identity is overloaded. If you see yourself as always the go-to, you're signing up for more meetings. No, no, no. We need to think about less meetings. We need to think about having the right support around us because every role you carry, it becomes like a new computer tab that's open in your brain, and your brain is tired of running on 47 tabs open at once. So what does capacity actually look like? It isn't like drink more water, right? It's actually identity level shifts. I'm going to give you two, right? And I'll put the rest in the comments because I want this to keep going and I want you to kind of just think through it, right? So one shift is stop being the office emotional regulator. You are not Warren G, the regulator. I need you to let the silence hang. I need you to let people feel uncomfortable when you don't raise your hand to either smooth over a comment or jump in to take on more just because no one else wants to do it. That discomfort, it's not yours to own. Someone else's, right? So don't manage the whole room's nervous system. I want you to let things be good enough. Yes, perfectionism, it's the biggest capacity killer. Sometimes 80% is good enough. Excellence is not overwork. And I know I said two, but I got to give you one more three. I want you to redefine what a leader means. Real leadership is clarity. Real leadership is boundaries. Real leadership is presence and perspective. And you can't have those things if you are too busy doing everyone else's job, right? It means showing up with a clear mind and acting strategically instead of just being the doer. I have to challenge you, right? That's what I'm here for. I'm here to challenge you. I want to know, where are you over functioning to feel safe? And what could you do differently if you didn't fear disappointing everyone else or even yourself? Look, you don't need to reinvent your career. You need to become the version of yourself that has learned what it means to stop over functioning. Your job. It isn't suffocating you, your conditioning is. So let this conversation be the moment that you stop carrying the emotional weight of your entire workplace.